But let's start with Jason Abrams, who is with KW International.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Abrams, and I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas. I'm speaking today from the Win-Win Studios at the home of Keller Williams, KWRI. I want to congratulate you. As a matter of fact, I want to thank you and congratulate you because you are here today, and it's so important that you are. Today, you're going to understand by the end of this why I believe that residential, commercial, real estate in general is the single greatest industry on the planet. And what you did, I don't know if you realize it, but you're all already almost there. You see, so much in life is simply about showing up. And however you got here today was the perfect way. Because somehow, in this crazy universe of ours, we ended up here together and you ended up in the right place at the right time. You see, so much of life is all about timing. The problem is we tend to miss some of the most important events because the world around us is going so fast and there's so many things to distract us. So before we start, and by the way, I won't keep you for an hour. This is going to be a short 20-minute discussion, but here's what I would ask. Let's give me 100% of your focus. Now, once you do that, it's on me to earn it and keep it. I promise you, I have something up my sleeve. But let's forget about the drama of the world. Let's forget about the pressures of the universe. Let's forget about whether or not you have enough money in your bank account. Let's forget whether or not you have enough time to be here. And most importantly, let's forget whatever happened right before this appointment, because that doesn't matter. The question that you and I are here to solve is what's going to happen exactly after this appointment. You see, the reason that the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield is because we'd like you to spend more time looking forward in life. That's what this entire conversation is going to be about. Here's what Gary Keller teaches us. Now, you're going to hear that name kind of throughout the day today. Not only is he my mentor, but he is the person that helped put models and systems into the real estate industry such that all of us could have the things that we want. You see, Gary would tell you that leadership is simply teaching people how to think, so that they do the things they need to do when they need to do them, so that they can have the things they want when they want to have them. And what he teaches us is that real estate is a local business driven by local relationships. He also says that all answers in life, the good ones anyway, are found in the most simplistic forms. The challenge is everything naturally wants to become more complicated, but all success is always found in simplicity. So today I'm going to try to break down in really short order the real estate business in general, and then I'm going to invite you to live the life that you deserve to have. Because here's the truth. We believe at Keller Williams in a very strict culture code. I use the word strict not because it's enforced with some sort of heavy hand, but because the ideals that set us apart, that we hold good and true for all people, we believe are good and true, not just in business, but in life as well. These things are in a very prescribed order: God, family, and business. You see, we believe that when we put the person together, the rest of the universe falls into place. So why residential real estate, you ask? Because we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help today? You see, homes are different than almost any other commodity. Nobody goes home at night and curls up with their stock and bond portfolio. They just don't. But they do curl up in their homes. As a matter of fact, the same kitchens that you have your best moments in, think of yours, are the same ones that you also might have some of your cries in. The same backyards where you see somebody take their first steps might be the same backyard where you throw that first football pass. And at the end of the day, the house, the home, becomes the backdrop for our lives. So we have an opportunity to go out and help other people find the backdrop for their life. The truth is, residential real estate or commercial real estate or any real estate that you decide to practice is an absolute increment part of the economy. 26% of all the wealth in these United States anyway is tied up in the equity in people's houses. So who do you think protects that equity? Friends, the first real estate agents got together in 1891. Since then, real estate agents have been helping people purchase what usually is the most expensive illiquid asset that they're going to have. We help people get over the fear of the unknown. We help people find the place where they're going to have their greatest moments. And in this way, we wake up every day and we simply ask the question, how many people do we get to help? But the truth is, most of the people that you know are going to be investing or owning real estate, whether you get a real estate license or not. You see, that's the thing about this. Ask yourself, why did you move the last time you did? Because a lot of folks get into a room like this and they say, I don't know anything about real estate. Friends, I would submit to you that you know almost everything you need to know about real estate. And all we're going to be doing is filling in some of the details. Why did you move the last time you moved? I'll tell you, for me, it was because I had a life event. That's why people move. They get a job, they lose a job, they find love, they get divorced, they have a kid, they become an empty nester. These are the reasons. They get rich, they get poor. We could go on, but this is what precipitates a move. And most people don't just move once. They move multiple times during their lives. We have this great illustration that I use to draw this, and it's really simple. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that way up here at this peak is when somebody moves, and of course, a real estate agent is involved. It's a great day for everybody. Housing dreams come true, real estate commissions get paid, and then this right here is the very next day. It's the very next day because they're on the bottom again, because think about you, nobody moves the day after they move because of you guys get it. But here's the thing. Every day after that, people get closer to moving again until they're right here, which is the next time they move. And then over here the next time they move. And then maybe they buy a piece of investment real estate over here. This is exactly how it goes. So the truth of the matter is, when a real estate agent becomes a fiduciary, and we're going to talk about that word in a second, we get to help people usually not just once, but 2, 3, 4, 5 times on their life journey. And again, this life journey is precipitated by the life events that they're having. The interesting thing about this, though, and you know this to be true, is the distance between people moving is about 3 to 7 years. Think about that for a second. Can you think of one other product that you've purchased where a bank or somebody else loaned you the majority of the money to do it that you then used for 7 years? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, my car and automobiles like that. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, that's how we define industry. They're the two most highly considered purchases for consumers, homes and automobiles. And we don't sell cars here yet. So let's stick with houses. The reason it's highly considered is because this dictates the way that people spend their time and the way that they live their lives. The home isn't simply just a thing. It's a collection of rooms located in a community. It dictates all the way shopping to walking to driving to where you're going to go to school to all of the different things, which is why this is so important for people. We also know that when polled, people love looking at real estate almost more than anything else, which means you could say that looking at residential real estate in a voyeuristic way is almost the pastime of humanity, which would make sense because, let's be honest, housing is on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You see, we're hardwired as humans to want to have shelter. And as we've progressed, we want to have shelter that we like, that feels like sanctuary for us. I'm going to read you a quote from a woman named Mo Anderson, who was the CEO of this company for many, many years, talking about this thing exactly. So how do I tie this back to you? Well, here's the thing. As people get closer to needing to make this massive investment and purchase, they do business with whoever's in closest emotional proximity. And emotional proximity means closest to them at that moment, either emotionally or physically. So how do you get close to somebody emotionally? You see, there's a myth right now that some of you are thinking, which is, I'm not a salesperson. How could I possibly get into real estate sales? The truth is, every single one of you is a perfect, phenomenal salesperson. Daniel Pink wrote a book on it. It's called To Sell is Human. You've been selling people your entire life. You just may not have been selling them a product. But the fact that you're trustworthy, the fact that you have a good reputation, the fact that you want to wake up and help people, these are the things that you've been selling right now without a product. Isn't that accurate? Don't you wake up on a daily basis and influence the people closest to you to know you as a good human being? If you do, then just get really clear on the fact that you're in sales. As a matter of fact, the first person that most of us sell is ourselves, which leads us to our next myth. See, some of you are out there saying, I can't do this. Or you're saying, they won't do business with me. Or you're saying, it won't work for me. It might work for everybody else. Or you're saying, I don't want to go out and talk to strangers. Or you're saying, I'm not sure. You see, all of those things are simply a sale that you're making in your mind right now to convince you that you're not the perfect person for this. But I want to reassure you that you absolutely are. If you're the type of person that wants to wake up each day on a quest to help people, then you're a perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're the type of person that defines their success by how others feels about their lives, then you're the perfect person to become a real estate agent. If you're looking for an absolutely limitless financial opportunity, and when I say limitless, I mean just that, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. And if you'd like to wake up each day as a company of one, supported by a company of many, and make your mark on the world, then you are the perfect person to become a real estate agent. So, how does the real estate industry actually work? It's far more simple than you might be thinking. It's really broken into three parts. Over here, you have when somebody buys and sells a house. I'm going to put a dollar sign. This dotted line here, which is very close to it, denotes the period of time when the consumer gets really serious about buying or selling real estate. That's the day that they say, I'm going to do it. The distance between this line and this point is about 10 weeks on average. Then you have this line over here, and everything to this side of it we call lead generation. What is lead generation? It's really just loving people, to be honest with you. When we lead generate, all we do is we try to find people that we can help. But here's the good news. You already have all of the people that you need to help in your life. And I'm going to prove that to you mathematically in a moment. But think about all the different ways that businesses lead generate now. You have emails, you have mail that happens, you get text messages, you get phone calls, you see TV commercials, you see billboards. I could go on and on. These are all of those things that happen here. Then this giant area in the middle is this giant period right here. It's just simply people living their lives. What real estate agents do during that period is we follow up. We stay in people's lives, we make sure that we're connected, we ask and answer any questions that they might have about real estate, and we're just generally really great stewards of our community. So there's really only three parts of the entire residential real estate business. So if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, I don't know where to begin, and this is probably really complicated, the good news, it's actually not. It's really simple. Now, I didn't say it was easy. I said it was simple. You pretty much now understand the entire residential, commercial, vacant land, raw land, looking for entitlement, real estate business. This is all of it in a nut jar. So what happens next? Interestingly enough, if you were to go get your real estate license right now, you would start on day one with plenty of classes to take and plenty of great ideas, but you might not have any clients. When polled, the number one fear that new agents coming into the business have is, I won't have anybody to work with. I'm new and no one's going to want to work with me. And I'd like to give you permission to release from that concern, because here's something that I don't tell everybody. I was new too. As a matter of fact, every single person that's in the real estate business was new at some point. That's the great part about our business. But you already have this amazing network of people. Play along with me for a second. I'd like you to take out your cell phone. Now, don't open it up to the face pages and the Insta Twitters and all of this sort of thing. Just open up your phone and let's go through this together. I'd like you to go to your contacts. Then I'd like you to scroll all the way down to the bottom of your contacts, and what you're going to see is a number, unless you're using an Android, and then who knows what you're going to see. But for most of us, we're going to see a number. So let's take that number, that's the total number of contacts that you have in your phone, and let's write that number right here. I'm going to guess that there's some of you that have 1,000 contacts or more. Well, let's just play the game. If you have more, raise your hand if you have contacts. You're crushing it. Okay, cool. If you have more than 250, keep your hand up. More than 500. More than 1,000. If you're in a room, this is getting fun. More than 1,250. More than 1,500. And usually when I say that, that's when a bunch of the heads go down. That's why I got to 1,000. If you have more than that, you're well on your way. Now, what I want you to do is take that number and I want you to multiply it by 6%. And for those of you that are math challenged, I make no judgment, that's 0.06. And that is going to equal a number. If there's anyone in the studio that can help me with that, that would be fantastic. What might that number be? Just yell it out when you know. Kelly, Cody.
60.
60, that's fantastic. See, and this is how we all play together at Keller Williams. That's 60. Now, why did I choose 6%? Well, there's all kinds of studies that show that about 6% of the people that are currently in your phone are going to have a real estate experience, either themselves, a sibling, or a quote unquote best friend within the next 12 months. So now let's take that number, which is 60 transactions, and let's multiply that by whatever the commission average is in your marketplace. Now, I'm going to leave this, if you're here today, you're with a team leader, and they're going to help walk you through this because commission rates vary all over the United States, prices of homes vary all over the United States, and what you're going to end up getting is a certain number. And that number is the minimum number of what you should be doing annually if you get into the real estate business, wrap your arms around the industry, and then follow up with frequency and intensity to all the people in your data bank. Now, why did I jump to a conversation about money? Well, it's really interesting. When we poll and we ask people what their biggest fear about getting into real estate is, they all say the economics. And I think people say that because, and if you didn't know this, just hold on to the seat and get tight for a second, this is an all-commission industry. This is to say that you will have an unlimited amount of earning potential. So here's the definition that I like to use around compensation. And I think this is massively important because there's a bunch of different cohorts that are watching this video right now. For some of you, you're looking for an absolutely limitless opportunity and you're going to go build your empire and riches in real estate. For others, you're just trying to do a couple extra deals a year because you're already having an amazingly big life in some other profession, and this is simply to offset. And for some of you, you haven't really given this much thought. And by the way, all of these different groups, you're perfect, and we're the perfect place for you. So how does compensation work? Well, compensation is something you get for something you give. This is widely misunderstood. Most people think they should receive before ever giving. We know that's not the case. It's something you get for something you give. It's repayment for a contribution that you make that's needed and useful. I want you to write the words needed and useful down. And let's never forget that compensation is comprised of four things. Number one, the need for your service. Friends, I'd like to address that right now. Make no mistake about it. The need for housing has never been more acute worldwide than it is today. Everybody needs what it is that we do, and we need you to be a part of it. Number two, how well you perform it. Now, how well you perform it is going to be on you, but that's why we're here. You see, we wake up every day and try to make you the best real estate agent on the planet, and we're pretty good at it. The next one is the difficulty in replacing you. And let's get really clear on that. Once you become absolute fiduciary for your people, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to replace you. And the last one is the number of people that you get to serve. See, the interesting thing about Keller Williams is we're the largest real estate company under one brand that the world has ever known. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. We're in over 50 different countries. We're really good at this. So the number of people that you're going to get to serve is going to be a bigger number than you could actually fathom right now, because here's what I believe, and so does Gary Keller, is that the top real estate agents in the planet, the ones that are going to do the most business, they're not yet in the industry. It's actually you. You see, our industry is changing at an amazing rate, and what we're doing is actively going out and trying to find the next generation of the greatest real estate agents on the planet. That's what Keller Williams is. So now you understand compensation. You understand exactly how the real estate industry works. You understand the economics of how income comes into real estate agents. I'd like to address one more myth that you might have in your head, which is there's so much to learn, I don't know it and I won't be able to. Here's the thing. I'd like to think about this in knowledge versus wisdom. You see, I believe that we are on the quest to find both of those things at any given time. By knowledge, I'm referring to the specific intake of information. When you read a textbook, that's knowledge. When you're going to listen to the team leader in a moment, that's knowledge. You're getting pieces of information about a specific topic. Now, wisdom, I believe, is something totally different. You see, I believe that we're all born with a unique and divine soul, and within this soul, we have all of the wisdom that we're ever going to need. And in many ways, we think of this as quote-unquote common sense. And if you've been following along and you've been getting the feeling that this feels right to you, that's your wisdom. You see, life is all about finding the people that can give us the knowledge to simply unlock the wisdom that we already have inside. So when you go and you see some amazing speaker like a Gary Keller or the team leader that brought you here, and you feel something unlock, you might say, oh my gosh, I got such an insight from that person. But I'm here to tell you that's actually not right. Insight, the word itself, means you couldn't get it from outside. It's a sight from within. All you did in that moment was find somebody to unlock something that you already had. You see, that's the journey that we'll be going on together if you decide to move forward at the end of this video, because you're about to have to make a decision. The decision that you're going to get to make is whether or not the world deserves to have you be their fiduciary. It's a massive decision. You see, if you decide to become a residential real estate agent, what you're really deciding to do is go out and change as many lives in as many communities for the positive as possible. It means waking up every day and not just having a good year, but having a good career. It's as much of a calling as anything else. For some of us that have been in the business since we were kids, and I joined out of high school, I kind of think we're unemployable anywhere else. We just don't realize that until we get here. And then we look up and realize that we mark our days not by the number of phone calls that we may have made, and certainly not by the number of dollars that we acquired, but by the number of people that we got to help. You see, this idea of going out and changing the planet one homeowner at a time is something that I believe deeply in. Keller Williams came on the scene, and at that time we had office managers of all real estate companies. By the way, if you go out and you meet with other companies, you're going to meet a lot of office managers. We don't have those here. We have team leaders, and it's different. You see, office managers try to control today and try to manage the way things are. And team leaders spend all of their time thinking about the future and wake up and define their success by the speed by which you got to your success. If by any chance you've met one of these extraordinary humans, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. At the end of this video, you're going to be spending some more time with a team leader, and you're going to talk about market-specific conditions and exactly what being a real estate agent in your city, in your state, and in your country is all about. But I want you to be clear that the ideals are the same. The culture that binds us is universal. The limitless opportunity is universal. Loving people and helping people is universal. And the reason that people need our services is universal. I want to read an excerpt to you from a book called A Joy-Filled Life by Mo Anderson. When you join Keller Williams, you'll hear all about Mo. She's a very special lady. And she says, I realize now it isn't about your certification or credentials. It's more about having the ability and the passion to do something and the confidence to do it well. These qualities are just as important or even more important than a professional certification or a piece of paper saying that you took some class. Ability, passion, and confidence are what help you discover your true voice and sing your unique song for the world. I would learn this lesson again and again in all my years as a teacher. I want you to hear that, because I know that even I tried to bust the myths, but there's still some of you that don't think this is for you or think you might not know enough, or you're saying, I can't. Friends, if I can leave you with anything, it's that every single one of you can. Everybody at Keller Williams wakes up every day and we try to help you build a big business so that you can go fund and power a big life, maybe even bigger than you've dreamed. You guys are in the right place. You're in the right time at the right company. I'm begging you, on behalf of you, take the next step and move forward with us. Come figure out what a limitless life looks like. Because here at Keller Williams, when we honor God, family, and business in that order, we find the best rendition of ourselves and the best rendition of our company. I can be completely candid with you and say we're missing something, though. The thing we're missing at KW, we're missing you. Come join us. I hope you do.
There we go. You want the podium rolled up too?
Yeah, probably so.
Other than that, you could Stacy.
Sorry, like I say, the room is set up for a blood drive tomorrow. We donated space, so it's a little awkward. It looks weird to me and I'm here all the time, so certainly looks kind of strange to you all. So my name is Jason Scott. I'm broker in charge for the firm, and I see a couple of familiar faces, of course, for bringing folks, and we appreciate that. The gentleman you've been hearing from all along, and you hear from much more than I, is Daniel. He is our tech guru. So he keeps us running from a technology standpoint at the Market Center. Um, Online, can you hear me? Thumbs up, somebody, to Daniel. Okay, good. So here's how we're going to roll. There's a slideshow. You've heard from Jason already. I'm going to go through a little bit of Keller Williams so you kind of understand our model, and it's more about you and the school than it is us. So I won't spend a whole lot of time on us other than so you just get to know a little bit about us, and then you really want to know about the school, which we would love to offer all of you scholarships to later on. So, and we'll jump into that afterwards. We will do Q&A. You can ask me anything under the sun. That's what I'm here for. So, starting with Keller Williams, who you're in business with matters, and I would agree with that. Our first up is Robbie. He's our operating principal, so he's kind of the financier of the office. We have 3 offices, well, 2 offices and a workspace or suite of convenience. So we have Burlington, which is the main office, Hillsborough, which is our secondary office. Right now, Hillsborough's in the process of moving. That's why you see lots of chairs in this room. So Hillsborough's moving to a new location. We're excited about that. Soon to be a ribbon cutting later on this summer. And then we have an office in Mebane. Andrew Morrison is our team leader, and Jason alluded to team leader. You're going to meet a great team leader. Well, that's Andrew. Mary Holder is our MCA or Market Center Administrator. So kind of she's the money and HR side of the office. And then next is myself. And I kind of do the other things: legal, compliance, licensing. What else do I do? Training. So that's my other biggie. Yeah, so she kind of handles the office and the operations and money, and I'm kind of the other side of it. So then Daniel, I just talked to you about a little bit. He's our tech guru, and we can't do what we do without him. Our director of first impressions is Rivers. So if you go to the office, Rivers is probably the one, if you've been emailing with back and forth to the website or the email address, that's probably Rivers or Daniel, one of those two. So next we have an awesome team, and I think Amandalin's online. I'm stoked about that. Amandalin, do you want to share about what you all do?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
absolutely.
Mike's here too. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Oh, sweet. Hey, Mike. He can probably do a better job since he's there in person. I'll let him jump on afterwards if he wants to. But Amanda Cannon, very happy to meet y'all. Folks, I can see some faces. Part of the productivity coaching program. It is an awesome program, honestly designed to take agents, whether you've been in the business 5 or 10 years, or you've not even had your license 5 minutes. Accountability, coaching skills. We start wherever you are, if you're a brand new agent, or if you're an agent, like I said, that just wants some accountability and some growth. We also have a dual career track, which is pretty cool. We found that a bunch of agents were not able to make a 9 a.m. coaching session every week. So we listened to that, and we have a Monday night from 6:30 to 7:30 for our dual career folks. We have a ton of folks that are either using that as a supplemental income, or they are a full-time person trying to transition into real estate full-time. And we work with folks no matter where they are, if they want to keep real estate as a side hustle, or if you want to transition into a full-time realtor, that is what we're here for. So yeah, it's an awesome program. I'm going to throw some stuff in the chat. And then Mike is definitely there, available for numbers and stuff to pass out for folks that are not there on the chat. But yeah, we'd love to talk to you. If you decide to join Keller Williams, me, Karen, and Mike would all love to have a meeting with you.
Awesome. Thank you. And Mike, thank you for joining too. So going back to the slides, we're a little bit different than most firms. We have a productivity team. Think about any team has coaches, whether it's basketball, tennis, I don't care what sports you're in, they all have coaches. So you're in a retail as retail, um, real estate has, coaches as well, and training coaches and productivity coaches. So that's one of the things we offer here that some of the firms don't. And we understand folks have their dual career or working part-time, full-time. We honor that. That's where she's talking about that we call that dual career. If you're working full-time somewhere else and doing real estate on the side until you can make the transition to full-time real estate. So Karen, Mike, and Amandalyn are our productivity coaches. Cool program.
I changed this.
Oh, good.
I think you're getting like.
Oh, good. I can't wait. So you're guinea pigs and we get to see this. Okay. So we have something called our MVVBP blood pressure. So our MP is to build careers worth having and businesses worth owning and lives worth living, experiences worth giving and legacies worth leaving. So if you're not in a business that's producing and funding your life for the things that you want to do and the things you want to provide for your friends or family, however that looks like to in your world, that's what we're here for. So whatever you want out of it is what we can coach you and develop you into being. And then lastly, if you want to leave that to someone later on in life. So, hey, we want to be the real estate company of choice for agents and customers. That's our vision. Our value is God, family, then business. And if you're out of order with one of those things, that's when things really aren't flowing seamlessly. And we respect anyone's religion, whether it, whatever God means to you is what we support. So that is our motto. But again, that's whatever your God is. If you, that's your personal faith. So this one is our core belief. Like this is what we walk and talk and breathe and sleep and eat every day. And we call it the Y4C 2Ts. And people are like, what in the world? So the Y is the WI, the 4Cs, the C's, the C words, and then the 2Ts end up with the last of it. So it's win-win or no deal, meaning if there's not give and take on both sides and both people walk away with a little bit of what they wanted, it's just not a good deal if it's one-sided. Integrity, I mean, if you're not doing the right thing all the time, then you're just breaking down that system. Customers always come first. Commitment, be committed in what you're doing. Don't halfway do it. My mother would say, call that something else, but communication, seek first to understand. So listen and then understand where someone's coming from instead of just like jumping in and inserting yourself. So communicate, listen first, and seek to understand both sides. Being creative. Creativity is ideas before results. You have talents that I don't have. I have talents you don't have. So that's what we respect here. So whatever your creativity is and your ideas, we want you to run with it and build on that. Teamwork, we do this thing together. We're not alone. Trust starts with honesty. It kind of feeds back into integrity. Equity is opportunities for everyone. And that's actually one we added. I was here at KW a few years ago and I left and now I'm back as broker in charge. And that one wasn't in there. Um, and that's one of the things that drew me back, being part of a company that believes in equity. So everyone has equal opportunity as far as we're concerned. And then success. We don't do this without the people that we're affiliated with. And last is our perspective. We're a training, coaching, consulting, and technology company that just happens to be real estate, creating a culture and community where entrepreneurs really thrive. So we're really here for your business, to coach you, to train you, be your consultant, offer the technology that we have in the pipeline that we can provide for you, to make you as an entrepreneur thrive in your businesses. So that's really what we get our drive from here. So we also lastly want to be the place where entrepreneurs thrive. Again, back to kind of the office of choice for agents and clients. So we're a little different. And I encourage you to seek, once you get your license, check out the other offices. Don't just, I mean, we'd love to have you join us, but there are different models and don't settle until you understand what you're going to be the best fit for. So there's models that are just a flat fee and you pay that fee and that's what you get. There are models that are hybrids where You pay traditional splits, like if you get a commission on a house, there's so much of a split. And that's your split, and that's your split. You never grow, you never go anywhere with that. And then we're a little bit of both. So we have a monthly fee, and we charge a partial of the commission, not a whole. You keep the majority of it. So we're a little bit of a hybrid. Um, we also have a huge factor in the support we offer you in the office. So KW. So one of the things you can look around for us, if there's an award out there in real estate or all, gosh, in companies, we've almost won several. So number one place for women to work, number one place for diversity, number one place for real estate, number one real estate company. There's a ton of them. Best employers overall, best company for training, um, best for women, like it's over and over and over. We were the best training company in the country so many times, like that's against Coca-Cola, IBM, all those big companies. We won that so many years in a row, they retired us into the Training Hall of Fame so someone else could win, because we just have that level of training at the office to get you off the ground. So KW Cares, this is something other real estate companies don't have. This is agents helping agents. And we've given over, now it's close to $70 million. But we have trucks ready on the ground to go if in case of a tornado. Like what's happened today across the country, if you've not heard, I think there's been like 60 tornadoes. Devastated areas, tornadoes, hurricanes, that kind of thing, the fires in Hawaii. Like literally, we had trucks on the ground ready to go to support our agents and offices that have been affected. And that's something that where there's no red tape to it. We don't have to wait for the Red Cross. We don't have to wait for anything other than a driver to get in the truck and drive it to where it goes. So Red Day just happened. It's my favorite day of the year. It's where all 180,000 agents volunteer. So the Mo Anderson, he kind of read from a book earlier. She was our first female president, and we give Mo credit for a lot of our culture. And it's her birthday, the second Thursday in May of every year. Tongue tied. We all volunteer as a big project. So this year we went and worked, picked up litter and trash all around downtown Graham. We got like 30 bags of trash and cleaned up downtown Graham. And then we picked up and went to a couple of parks here in Burlington and did the same thing. They kind of recovered from an event they had over the weekend. We've done schools, landscaping. We've done dog parks. We've volunteered at Salvation Army because they were behind in their boxes and processing. We've built ramps. Like there are so many things we have done. It's exciting. I love to see agents giving back during Red Day. It's a fun day for me. So, okay. This one is what we call profit share.
Should word together this time.
I see. Good. I love it. So what happens is you are in the middle of all this and someone brought you here and invited you here, right? If you decide that you name that person as your sponsor or your person that brought you here, and that's who you decide, it can be anyone that's within the Keller Williams system. If you invite someone to join because you like it so much, that's the next tier of 3 people. If the market center is profitable and that person has a transaction that month, you get a portion of the profits from the market center. It doesn't come from that person. It's not out of their commissions. It's something we give back to agents. So we're one of the only firms that does it that way. And it's all Keller Williams everywhere. So we believe in, as you recruit folks to us or invite people to join us because you like it, if the market center is profitable and that person has a transaction, then their person that invited them gets a part of that. And it can go 7 deep. So what's your name? I'm sorry. Tiara. Okay. So say I invited you here. Okay. So you came in and you had a transaction. The market center is profitable. I'm going to get part of the profit from the market center. Okay. Say you invited Prescott. So if he has a transaction, you get a part of the profit from the market center and I get a part, not from anything he's done, just by having a transaction. If then he invites somebody, then all three of us get something. Now, it's only if the market center is profitable. And again, we pay the bills, the salaries, the insurance, the lights, the everything. And what's left over at the end of the month, we spread out to agents that have invited folks to join us. So, does that make sense? Okay, so it's not a scheme or pyramid or anything like that. It's literally if you invite somebody, they join, they like it, you like it. Market center's profitable. We have something, we just give it out every month. We don't keep it. So it's kind of how it works.
It is a pyramid, just not on the.
Yeah, right. It's not a schemey pyramid that's, you don't have to buy into it. You don't have to, I mean, it's just if you invite folks, then they like it and they have transactions. That's all it means. So getting being financially prepared. So the total cost to sign on with us is $225. What you get for that to sign on with us is your E&O insurance and your tech. And that's your first month as well. You get a sign, you get business cards. Basically, it can kind of put you in business for your first month, 2 months. So, and then also your signing on registers you with our insurance, and then gets you into the firm as far as you get an email, you get a website set up, all those things kind of get you kicked off with us. Another thing that you have to join is either an association, and I would urge you to join the association where you're primarily going to do your business. So if you're going to primarily work here in Burlington and around this area, you would join Burlington Alamance. If you were in Greensboro and you primarily lived and worked there, you can work here or be a part of our office and then join Greensboro. If it's regional, if it's Durham, if it's Raleigh, you can join any of those local associations. Those prices vary based upon where you join. The local one at Burlington, I'll say, is the least expensive. After you join an association, then you can join an MLS or multiple listing service. And that's where we put the houses on the market and it gets spread out to Zillow and Realtor and all those websites. So you have to join one of those listing companies. And then, yes, wait, I wasn't quite done. Then the commission charges you $45 a year for your license to practice. And then there's last time you'll pay this is this year is the North Carolina Department of Revenue privilege license. Like if you go into a business and they say, hey, here's my license, like a salon or a restaurant or whatever, that same kind of concept. So all in all, $1,500, $2,000 tops, you will be up and running. So one of the things that brought me back to Keller Williams that I love a lot, when we added equity into our statement of our company and one of our core values, we started creating communities, and those communities have really kicked off. They're really agent driven, and we've got a ton of them. So there's KW Luxury, there's KW Military, there's KW Sports and Entertainment. Like if I'm in Charlotte and I've got a lot of football players that are using me to buy houses and sell houses, that kind of thing. So that would be the sports and entertainment. Or if I was in Atlanta or music centers where I would have like entertainment people, movie stars, music folks, that kind of thing. So sports and entertainment. There's the Black Real Estate Network or Lady Leaders, which one of my favorite. I love that. I think that logo is really awesome. There's KW Rainbow Network, CHISPA, or the Hispanic Leaders in Real Estate, Pan Asian, which is Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And there's like 30 groups now. And you, as a member, can just join one of those groups. And you would be in a group or an affinity group or a community of like-minded folks that are training you that. Like there's an entire website set up that's in nothing but Spanish. So you can convert back and forth between English and Spanish, which I don't know that another firm does that. So it's KW Arabic, KW Special Needs, there's SIMCHA, and sign for like hearing impaired folks. But 1 out of every 4 Americans has a disability, whether you can see it visibly or not. So um, that's a lot of folks out there that could use our need, has a need for us. So anyway, I love the communities. I think it's great that we offer those. And if there's one that you want to start or you feel passionate about, you can join or start on your own. Again, they're agent led. Like we're looking right now to do a KW seniors. So that's the kind of the next one that's probably going to come on board. So the groups are something you can join and learn from. You are going to need a laptop and a phone, right? And a license, pass the test. Cool. Command is our, we call it our brain. It's everything. If you look at real estate transactions, 1 out of every 5 transactions, or 20% in all of the United States, were a KW transaction. KW transactions are ran through Command, which is our brain. So it's your client database, it's your marketing platform, it's your documents, like everything you do is in Command. And it was built for agents. And have you ever seen the thing you get in the mail, like with the cable companies that like we offer this with the little check marks and whatever? So there's like 32 different companies that offer real estate services in technology world, the big ones. And what Gary Keller did was looked at the check marks and said, okay, Command do all of them. So Command does every single thing that all 32 do that you would have to pay for individually. So, and not only that, we're collecting the data from all those transactions and turning that into training. So first you got to get licensed. So what happens in North Carolina is it's a 75-hour course, and all of you that are here tonight receive a free scholarship from us for an online class that is work at your own pace. So thank you for coming. We appreciate you. You'll get an email in the next 24 hours to 36 hours that says, congratulations, here's your link to school. You then go to school and register at Kaplan and use the coupon code in the book, that in the email they send you. So you have to complete a 75-hour course. Once you pass the test in the class, then you can sit for the state exam. So class, 75 hours, pass the test, sit for the exam at the state level. They do a criminal background check on that. And then once that approved, then you're eligible to get your license once you pass both. And then lastly, once you got your license and all that's done, you affiliate with one of the firms. And I would, again, suggest you to kind of visit around and see who's the best fit. Do you like the morale in this one? Do they have a training program? Do I feel comfortable here? You know, any of those things. So look at the splits, look at the fees, all that good stuff. So where you are in this process is you've kind of already happened here and you're here. So next you'll get an email from Kscore 832@gmail.com, and Daniel will cover this next session as to where you go from there.
Yep. So we used to have it a little bit more convoluted for y'all, where you had like lots of mini steps. So we kind of like threw them together, but you still get everything. So long story short, we have some confusing acronyms going on. So Kaplan is the school of real estate that we've paired with. We're not Kaplan, we're KW. We're just paying them on your behalf, scholarship program. Now, that being said, if you're having problems with Kaplan, feel free to email that Kscore 832 and we'll either fix it or we'll say, hey, here's the information for Kaplan support. At the same time as Kaplan, we're also going to set you up with KW Prep. KW Prep is 100% optional, but it does help out. Kaplan's only going to teach you the things that you need to know to test for becoming a real estate agent. KW Prep starts giving you a taste of the things you'd actually need to know as a real estate agent, like how to run a business, which is probably just as important, if not more important, than knowing how to sell a house. Um, we do encourage following through with it. The email even says that you need to do the first two. It's literally like 3 minutes worth of video if you do both first modules. But as you take your Kaplan classes, just take a break here and there and hop back over to KW Prep and do a module here and there. It will benefit you in the long run. But anyway, you'll get both of those signups, KW Prep and Kaplan. Uh, like Jason said, within the next 24 hours, it's just going to come from that same kscore832@gmail.com email that we told you about. Whenever you start your course, you have exactly 6 months to complete it. North Carolina does not have exceptions on that. We are very sorry. Every month we hear people from 6 months ago say, hey, I need an extension. That's Kaplan refers to extensions because they do outside of North Carolina, but North Carolina is not a state that gives extensions. So it's just not an option. If for some reason you don't finish the first time, welcome to an extremely large club. There are a ton of very successful agents that did not finish the first time, did not pass the first, second, third, fourth time. At the same time, there's some agents that became agents and left, never sold anything that passed the first time and really fast. So this is not how you do in the class does not say anything about how you're going to do as a real estate agent. So don't, we have a lot of people kind of beat themselves up whenever they have a hard time with the course. Please don't. It's, there's a ton more to real estate. In fact, I'd say everything more to real estate than what you're actually going to be dealing with in the class. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, once you finish the more or less what Jason was going through with um, the previous slide, once you finish up the class, pass the class test, then you go do the examination and everything.
Yep. So, hey, the scholarship itself is for a work at your own pace within the 6 months, finish that class. That's what we will gift to any of you that are here tonight or online. Now, some folks don't work well with work at your own pace on at all. Oh, okay. So if you want a class that is instructor led online, there's an additional fee. So we still pay like $500 of whatever that fee is, and then you just pay the difference, which is 100 and change. For what we know, whatever Kaplan's price is, you just pay for the difference. So we still gift you that scholarship for the base. You just pay for the difference in instructor. So those are the two options with Kaplan. Now, if you're here tonight and you need an in-person class that you do better with, seeing teaching live, that's something we don't have a scholarship for. However, there's lots of options in the state that you can choose. So there's online schools, there's in-person schools, there's Monday, Wednesday, Friday schools, there's weekend schools, all kinds of things. You just need to find the one that fits. If you need a fit and don't have one, Daniel or myself will find you one that fits up with your schedule. So there are schools all over the state. But this one that we're scholarshiping is an online work at your own pace. If you get to the 6 months and you're, oh my gosh, I'm not finished, life happened. Great. Contact us and we will get you signed up for another 6 months and gift you a second chance. So please know that the 6 months is not a one and done. You can't ever do it again. We will offer that scholarship again if you're ready to go at it again. So well, who is this? I wanted to have a place where I can build a legacy for my family and a platform to grow with the team. And that is Christina, who has $100 million in sales. Oh, go Christina. So this is my favorite part. You guys get to ask anything under the sun. So I don't have all the names, Daniel does. So if you've got a question online, or if you're in the room, just say, hey, Jason, it's Amanda, and I got a question. Also, Amandolin usually is nice enough to put my contact information in the chat. If you find out later, you think, gosh, I don't understand, I have a question, or I wish I had asked this. My email and phone number, you are welcome to contact me. It's an open door here. We have,
All done.
yep. So you all can contact me whenever. So anybody got questions? Don't be quiet tonight. So ask away. What's your name? Sorry. Hey, Melody, Jason.
So you were talking about the scholarship, like if you get to the 6 month
Yep.
period and then you feel like, okay, I didn't finish and
Yeah.
I need more time. So does that mean you pick up where you left off or you have to go all
Have to
the
start
way back
over.
to the
Yeah.
beginning and start over?
Yeah, and that's the North Carolina rule. Like if you're not finished the 75 hours within 6 months, it kind of like stops. And then what you do is just email that same email account and say, hey, I didn't finish in 6 months, my time cut off. And then we can set you up for a second shot. So, yeah, you do have to start completely over. But yeah. And do you have one, Prescott?
Related to 70 to 72 hours.
It's 5.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how would you suggest like pacing yourself weekly or that?
So it depends on your schedule. Like I was totally free at the time when I did mine, and there are rules to how many hours you can take within a week. So I took mine Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from like 8:30 to 4:30. So it took me like almost 3.5, 4 weeks to finish. If you want to do nights, do nights. If you want to do weekends, do weekend. It's your call. Whatever matches up to what your need is.
24 hours or so a week.
Yeah, so then it took me like 3.5, 4 weeks to finish. So, and like I say, that's considered full time. Like they don't let you take but so many hours in a week. Because you can't just cram it in a week and be done. So, good question though.
I think the quickest I've seen has been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, even the work at your own pace online, it's going to pace you because the state has rules to how quick you can finish. So, anybody else? Y'all are quiet. Erica, Wayne, Jen.
I do have a question, but I think Deanna had her hand up. So Deanna, if you want to go with your
I
question.
did, thank you. I was trying to
Hey,
get my
what's up?
puppy to stop. Hi. Okay.
Hey, ask away.
My question is mainly about when you were talking about once you get your real estate license and to shop around at different hubs of Keller Williams before you settle down into one.
Yeah.
Is it something to where like once you're in and you don't like it over time? Because sometimes in the beginning you get a great feel, but
Yeah, sure.
a month or two in, you're like, whoa, okay, I want
Yeah,
kind
like,
of
wait, this is not me, right?
right.
Not only Keller Williams, like just because we're giving you the scholarship, you can sign up anywhere. It can be another brand or a franchise or office. That's why I say shop around for your best fit. We want you. We would love for you to be a part of us. I think we're a great group to learn from and grow from and be a participant in. But if we're not the right fit for you, we're going to respect that. You can go sign up anywhere you want to. We're going to support you 100% and still give you the scholarship. I say interview at multiple places because I interviewed at another Keller Williams office and this one and they felt different. The way I was treated, the way I was greeted, the way the office layout was, like it just felt a little different. Then I interviewed 2 of our competitors. And one of them I asked some questions like, hey, talk to me about your training program. And he said, well, we have one. And I'm like, okay, well, can you elaborate on what it looks like? And he said, well, we partner you up with an agent and you shadow them. So that wasn't what I was looking for. It just wasn't a good fit for my growth. Another one said, hey, it's online. You just log in and you just learn anything you want to learn whenever you want to learn. And I'm like, well, who do I ask questions of? And they said, well, you just send an email and someone answers. And that wasn't for me either. So I had a choice and chose this particular office at the time. So I encourage you to interview around and get the best feel. And we would 100% respect wherever you sign. If you sign with another brand, franchise, office, boutique, us, another sister Keller Williams, we're going to support you. So Just because the scholarship was us doesn't mean you have to sign with us. So, but we want you if you want to be with us. Good question. I should have covered that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure thing. What'd you have, Erica?
Yeah, so my question was around like once you go through the program, now you set for your test and you passed. You're
Yes.
shopping around for agencies.
Yes.
You may decide to stay with Keller Williams or you may go somewhere else, but does the training center offer like post licensing support as well?
So post licensing, so in North Carolina, once you pass the test in the 75 hours, you're considered something called a provisional broker, or we call it a PB. Within 18 months, North Carolina requires you to take 3 additional 30-hour classes. You can take those at whenever you want to. Now, financially or scholarship wise, we do not offer support for those 3 additional 30 hours in 18 months. As Vic, we track in the office when you finish those classes. Now, we do have instructors in the office, and we do have a couple of folks that are North Carolina instructors that will offer classes. But as far as scholarship wise, we don't offer those. But we can connect you with different schools after Kaplan. You can keep on with Kaplan. There's something called the CE shop, and we're partners with the CE shop. So for your post licensing or your annual license testing you have to do classes, we give you discounts because of our partnership with the CE shop. So we can give you discounts through them, but actual scholarships we don't offer after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good
And I also
question.
have a follow-up question on
Yep, yep.
for the classes with Kaplan. So with
Yeah.
the scholarship, it covers the classes. Does it cover like materials? Is everything just online, digital? Is there anything?
Yeah,
that
it's
has to be
digital, so
purchased?
it covers your manual, the actual North Carolina real estate manual. And you ever, this is my family, but we had this big fat Bible on the desk at like on the end table that like passed from my grandma to my mom to my, now I have it. So the manual is like that big and that thick. Now, over the 75 hours, you're going to hit the hot topics in that manual that will be on the test. So again, the school really, like Daniel said, kind of passes preps you to take the test. It doesn't prep you at all to sell real estate. That's where you need to talk to firms to see where the training program is, who's going to develop me, who's going to be, my friend in real estate, if you will, that takes me, to where I want to go. So it covers the state manual. That's an electronic version. You don't get a hard copy. There is an option to purchase one, and I'm sure they'll send it to you or you can pick it up. It's revised every 2 years. So like as a BIC, I get a new one every 2 years. Like we subscribe to North Carolina and I get an updated manual because I have to have a current one if anyone asks a question. So
Thank you.
good question though. So with the scholarship, work at your own pace. From what we give you, you're up and running 100%, work at your own pace. Book, manual, study guide, all the stuff is there. It's just at your own pace. Now there'll be videos from instructors and things to watch to keep you interested. It's not just read this and understand it the whole way through. Kaplan is a nationwide school that's well known for their education pieces. So you're up and running and ready with a scholarship at no cost to you. If you want a live person on the screen, that's where there's an additional cost. So anybody else? Y'all are good. Good questions.
So what does training look like at Keller Williams? Like after you first come on when you're initially licensed?
Oh gosh. So again, being the #1 training company in the world, in the nation, we have a whole portfolio of training. So when you first onboard with us, you go through onboarding. So that's Daniel. So Daniel has got to kind of get you set up on the tech side where you have an email address, you have access to forms, you can log in, you're basically electronically set up. After you go through Daniel, that's when you either go to the productivity team or you go to myself. If you come to my department, we get you signed up with an association and the MLS. So you can list houses, search houses, that kind of thing. And then the productivity team, you meet with them to see, do I want to coach? how do I want this to look like for me to get started? If you don't sign up with a coach, coaches are 100% totally free until you have your first transaction. So they're coaching and developing you and training you and working you through the process to be a great agent before you even have a transaction. They just ask for a percent of the first of your transactions for coaching you. If you choose not to go into coaching, that's when we have something called Ignite, called Spark Your Career. We do that usually around 3 times a year, and it's 20 sessions that are 2 to 3 hours long every session. And that starts you in real estate all the way to get you to a transaction. And again, that's 20 hours, 20 sessions of 40 to 50 hours of how to sell real estate, how to market yourself, how to write a contract, how to work with buyers, how to work with sellers, how to negotiate, where do I get people to talk to? Like, it goes through all of that in Ignite. If you're not in an Ignite session, we do something called Bold. Bold is 7 weeks long, 1 day a week. That's like, I'm a 6-time Bold graduate. Bold is kind of like Ignite exemplified to another level, at a higher level. We have classes and instructors from all over the country that come in and out. Since COVID kind of shut down everyone, we started and got comfortable with Zooms. We are starting back with in-person live classes that are taught from instructors from across the country. So there's probably, what, 80 classes? I mean, there's a lot. We have a ton of different options, like 6 personal perspectives. We've got win with buyers, win with sellers. We've got core beliefs. We've got it's on and on and on. We have classes offered intermittently. So, and those classes are some geared towards people that are already in production, but we also have classes that are great for foundational. So does that help?
Yeah, for sure. So you've got a couple of things.
Oh yeah, we have, more than a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Sorry.
And plus, my gosh, we're here every day. So, like Val's in the room, and I'm like, hey, Val, anytime you need anything, I'm right here. So knock on my door. And once you fill out your paperwork, if something's wrong, we tell you what's wrong with it and we fix it with you and kind of guide you to the next step. And that's what the coaches do too, every single step of the way. So.
Thank you.
Yep, sure thing.
When you get to the exam.
Yes.
Hypothetically saying that you didn't pass the exam, is there a period that you have to wait before you retake the exam?
So here's the deal. You get 2 chances at passing the class exam. And if you don't pass after twice, you have to take the whole thing over. Once you pass the class, the state will allow you 4 times to take it. And if you don't pass in those 4 times, you have to go take the 75 hours over again. Now, we can't scholarship you again until another 6 months. Wink, wink. Unless you change your email address. Wink, wink. So wink, wink, if you had a different email address and you didn't pass, technically, I guess you might have a scholarship. Wink, wink. So now, that testing is done at a testing center, not a North Carolina, not at an office. You go there, show your ID. They're testing for all kinds of things, insurance and everybody on the sun. And you sign in, no bags, no phones, no whatever. You got so long to take the test. And literally, once you hit submit, you can go to the front and you'll know if you passed or not. Like, it's that fast. And I've had people that took 8 times to pass it. I've had people that passed it very first try. And like Daniel said, it doesn't make them a better agent one way or the other. What makes you a better agent is if you get up, dress up, show up. Sorry, didn't mean to be, but it's true. Coaches, is that right? Anybody else? You see why this is my favorite, because I never know what you're going to ask. That's my big brain, like, working.
Good evening. This is Jennifer. So,
Hey, Jen.
Hey. So, you said that the studying you can only study so many hours per week, would you give or take what, 20 hours per week, 30 hours per week?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the max is 24 hours a week.
Okay,
The state actually maxes you out because they do, I mean, they don't want you drinking from a fire hose, right? And
right.
it's a whole new concept. And I will say, and this is not a secret, North Carolina is one of the strictest states in the country for real estate. And
Okay.
I believe in that wholeheartedly 100%. The reason being is we have to protect the public.
Right.
We deal with the largest single financial transactions of most people's lives. So that's why when we are helping folks,
Mhm.
we should understand how to help them and the rules and regs around that. So it
Okay.
has been said, it's next to taking the bar. Now,
Awesome. Okay.
it's not the bar and it's not, it's a test. Some people test well, some people don't. Um, so that's why they max out the number of hours and amount and whatnot, because they don't want to overload you and like build your sensories. So,
Got it. All right, so with Kaplan, so it's 20, you say it's about 24 hours a week, 75 in total before we can test out. Does Kaplan University, once we finish those 75 hours, does it kind of like send us a certification saying, congratulations, you completed
yeah.
your, and then you kind of go to the next step?
Yeah. So what will happen is once you finish, Kaplan will give you the test. Like you have to take the test on screen and
Okay,
like it's can't be driving down the car, that kind of stuff.
okay,
So once Kaplan will monitor your testing. And once you pass the class, then they'll set up a testing time for you because they have to requirements around that for class.
okay.
Then you will get notification that yes, you've passed the class, you passed the state. Then you take that information and you're allowed to log in online to set up a state test.
Okay, so at what point do you guys know that we finished that part and we want to join Keller Williams and leave Kaplan and go to Keller Williams, join with a broker? Do you kind of like have a shadow program or anything like that?
So we track you somewhat through K-score. We
Okay,
see like we have spreadsheets and monitoring of kind of like where you are in the process.
okay,
But we're just here as a resource if you need us. We're not running that or driving that.
okay,
KW Prep will help you along the way just to kind of keep you in the mindset.
okay,
Um, However, once you pass and whatnot, that's really on you. Like we're not gonna like bombard you or overload you with, hey, come join us. That's
okay,
kind of not what we're about. We're
right,
about where do you fit in? How are you going to be the happiest? So once you finish everything and take your testing, like you have all those documents and you'll get literally a license in the mail from North Carolina. And you then take that, you start interviewing firms.
gotcha.
So you get all that notification, not necessarily us. So,
Okay,
yep,
that makes sense. Thank you.
yep, sure thing. Anybody else? Y'all are good.
So how would you use that info? Get your license, essentially, like, you got your own LLC or something like that?
Yeah, so what after you get your license, like it kind of is the foundation for the legal piece of it. In that, I need to understand terms and terminology and there's a lot of definitions. That would be wouldn't you, Val? Y'all would say the majority of it is definitions, like understand it. Yeah, concepts of like exactly. Like I don't know why North Carolina we don't say you're married. We say your tenants an entire. It's like a legal term. So a lot of, but you may never use that term again except at closing at a table when an attorney writes it. So a lot of it is definitions and understanding concepts and understanding real estate itself as far as laws and descriptions and um, yeah, kind of the technical stuff. Like, do you as an agent need to know every single day how many square feet are in an acre? Not necessarily, but that's part of the testing in the school. Um, like how to read a HUD statement from the Housing Urban Development. Like we don't use HUD statements anymore unless it's a cash closing. So the school will go over all the definitions and every single line. That's the math of what do I have to pay, how much taxes, how much HOA fees, how much, bank fees, how much realtor fees. Like you get taught how to read a HUD statement, but we don't even use HUD statements anymore unless it's a cash transaction. So that's the math, like you have to run through a HUD statement. And also now there's something called the CD or the close-in disclosure. So the close-in disclosure replaced the HUD and you use that anytime there's a loan involved. So there's kind of different terminologies that you learn through class. But then the firm itself is the one that's going to say, hey, do this, find your niche if it's texting and calling or emailing or open houses, or we teach you how to do an open house. We teach you, when and how many times to contact a person, what ways to contact a person. Our platform and command will do the marketing for you. You just have to tell it, I want this person to get this marketing practice, and you just set it up. So we really are your marketing and sales and day-to-day. They teach you all the legal and that kind of stuff, contracts. Good question. I hope y'all heard his question. He's like, what's the difference? Y'all good? All minds at ease?
I just have one other question.
Ask away.
So, once you get licensed
Yep.
and say 6, 7 months, a year down the road, you're like, okay, I think I could use a refresher course or something. Do you all offer them?
Yeah, so our classes are ongoing year round for like training, sales and development, that kind of thing. North Carolina requires that you have 8 hours of training every year. So our rules and laws are updated every July 1st. So every July 1st, you'll get fresh contracts that are just tweaked a little bit here and there with verbiage or how to say something or that kind of thing. So then every July, I'm tasked with training the whole office on understanding the new contracts or what's changed. And as an agent, there's a 4-hour class that says these are the things that have been updated. It's called Gen Up. So you're required to take a Gen Up or a general update class. It tells you all the changes. And then the other 4 hours are anything you want to take. And there's a whole list of things you can take. Like a gazillion, like traps in real estate or home inspections or what to know about commercial or do's and don't. I mean, there's a gazillion, like understanding appraisals. I mean, there's all kinds of classes out there you can take, and you're required every year to have those 8 hours. And that's again one of the things that we kind of track in my department is, have you got your education for this year? So yeah, like right now, the deadline is June 10th. So my office is like heavy on the folks that haven't finished their classes. So I'm like, okay, you got this many days, like you got this many days, like this is what, you took half of it, now took the other half. Like, so like we don't let you fail in that. So good question. And that keeps you fresh. Like, like the folks that haven't, this is what y'all listen, what stays in the room stays in the room. Coaches don't listen. So those folks that haven't taken their general update class for the contracts that changed in July are like practicing on their clients. Like to me, like, you went all year without taking the update. Now, we read contracts every day. Like that's what we do, is fill in the blanks. So as long as you fill in all the blanks and understand what you're filling in, it's not the end of the world. Like it's not massive, like laws change. Our contracts are done in conjunction with the bar association, and we're not allowed to practice law itself. We can fill in the blanks. So, but again, if you've waited this long to take your class, you're kind of like, I'd like to take mine as soon as I can. Anybody else? Is that Deanna?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Tanya? We all good? If you have a question and haven't thought of it, make sure you check the chat to see if I've not missed anything. If you do have a question, here's my number. It's 336, and y'all, I'll give it to y'all. 327 literally 0002. And it's that phone on that desk. And the agents in the room know if you call that phone, you either get a text from me that I'll call you back at this time or I will answer. And my email is super easy. It's my name, jasonscott@kw.com. So JASONSCOTT@kw.com. So, and you all in the room, I'll give it to you specifically if you want it. So if you're in class and you don't understand something later on, if you're at that work at your own pace, and you're like, Jason, I'm just not getting this, call me. Like, let me help you. You are certainly not the first person that didn't understand it. And if I don't understand it myself, I will get you an answer. Because that's what I mean, I'm here to help you. Same thing with agents. I don't know everything, but I will certainly go to the manual and look it up and help you. Because agents don't buy that book every year. I do. I mean, the office does. So. Y'all good? All right. Unless you think of something, I'm going to cut you loose. We so appreciate you. Look for that email, kscore832@gmail.com will come within the next 24 or 36 hours. There is a link in there with a coupon code for you to register and start your classes. Again, that is a free scholarship from us. And we would love to have you join us after you pass. If you decide this is not the right fit for you or not the right office, or if you're in another territory, because some of you may have joined from other cities or whatever, and you're like, hey, I'm in Charlotte. Just let us know because we can connect you with the Charlotte office. And we're in 50 countries. The only other thing is if anybody is out of state, we need you to respond to Daniel or to that Gmail because this is state specific. However, there are offices in other states that do the same scholarship program, and we will connect you in that state with an office. So if you are out of state online or any of you local, we will connect you in the right place. Because again, I've not in 9 years seen a KW agent that didn't want to help somebody if you ask. I mean, that's just literally kind of our core beliefs all day long, every day. So, anybody else? Daniel, you good? Amanda and Mike, thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Thank you all for coming online. Again, you got my contact. If you need anything, by all means, reach out. Just look for that email and you guys are all set. I appreciate you. Thanks. Thank y'all.